Hello, Internet. I'm Matt Haas. This is All Things YouTube, and I'm going to show you how to make an animated overlay for your live streams with transparency. This border is an example of that. Look closely, it's moving. The purple's moving down, the blue's moving this way, the green's moving this way. This whole thing is kind of rotating. It's subtle and slow, but that's the way I liked it. And this inner part is transparent. I'm going to use a lot of pieces of software to pull this off. You don't have to have every piece of software because the concepts will hold up. I'm going to use Photoshop, Final Cut Pro, and my streaming software is ECAMM. Okay, see how the bright green over there and purple's all the way? Purple started up there. This is another example of it. Here I've got the dark blue, and that is going to start moving down the screen in the same type of pattern. And this has two pieces of transparency, here and here. So this is transparent, and then this is transparent. Kind of cool, huh? All right, so how do you do it? Hey, Internet, this is Future Matt. After I was done editing this, I decided to make a downloadable PDF for free that has all of the specs. Every knob, button, switch you need to push is called out. It's foolproof. It's free. Go download it at this link. It's also in the description. And I'm going to show you how. We don't need to be in Final Cut. We'll start in Photoshop. Here we are in Photoshop. The image needs to be larger than the 1920 by 1080. I'm using 2,200 pixels by 2,200 pixels. This seems to be a good size. Now just put splashes of color wherever you want. I will fire up the gradient tool. There we go. Okay, this seems to be like a nice color here, and I will use the tool and go like that. Now you want a lot of the color to seep down into the image, because remember, this is going to go on a 16:9 aspect ratio, and it's going to have to be like that. Okay, let me put a few more colors on here, and we will have some fun. So let me change this, maybe get a red happening, and I'll put this one on. It's a little much. Can be subtle about it. All right, and how about an orange? There's no wrong answer here, folks. This is art. Okay, maybe that's good. Maybe that's good. Okay, then you want to save this. And I'm doing it as a ping. We'll say color swirl 3. Okay, that's saved. Quit Photoshop. Hey, who wants to go to Blobfest? Don't ask. All right, now we'll get into Final Cut Pro. And I already have a project that is 1920 by 1080. I'm using 30 frames a second. Yes, I stream in 60, but I want this animation to be lightweight. And you're really not going to need the animation to be 60 frames a second. And I want it as the Apple ProRes 4444. Bottom line, this gives you the transparency. And we'll hit OK. And then I'll insert my image and then bring it into the timeline. I want this to be a minute long, so I will stretch this out to a minute. I'm going to make this exactly 1 minute. Not that it needs to be exact, but I want it to be exact. So my animation is going to take 1 minute to make one revolution around the screen. Okay, you can see that it was brought in smaller than the available size because Final Cut Pro tries to make things fit. So it needs to be larger. So you need to scale it up. But don't do this, because now when you rotate it, you're going to get cut off here, and that's going to look dumb. So you don't want that. So you want it to be scaled up enough so it clears everything. There we go. All right. Now, whoops. Put this at 0. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to get it rotating. All right. So what you'll do is you'll come up to this icon and come down to here, and you want to manipulate the rotation item. So I dropped down a keyframe, and I'm at frame 1. See how I'm over here on the first frame? That's important. If you drag the playhead all the way to the end, and then go back 1, and then do it 364 degrees. There we go. So then that's what the animation looks like. So it goes the whole way around, because you want this to loop. All right. So when you play it, it should start moving. Is the red moving? Yes. Oh, this is going counterclockwise. Okay, neat. Yep. So it is moving. All right. Now, do not keep it like this. Having this be oversized will not work. It took me a long time to figure this out. So what you need to do is you need to compound clip this. So choose, right click, choose compound clip, save the defaults. And now it is a self-contained 16 by 9 object. And I'm zoomed in. I can make that fit. So this is what you want. All right. Now you got to get the mask in. Okay. I'm telling you, this is kind of tough. So you find your mask over here. This is not in this one, but it's in that one. And it's down here in masks. And then it's draw mask. And then you take the draw mask item and you put it over here. And then the draw mask shows up here. And then you fill this out. So I click done, and then I start making the border like this. Okay, but that's the opposite of what you wanted. I wanted opposite. I want this to be color and this to be black, and black in this case will eventually be transparent. So what I do is I invert the mask. Boop. So there we go. Now it's not perfect. You can come down to the control points, and what I like to do is make sure everything is centered the way I like it. Like in other words, is this distance here the same as that distance down there? Or is it not quite right? So I'll just, and if I have to tweak these values, I'll tweak those values. This looks pretty good. All right, so now if you play it through, this is what you're going to get. So the blue should be moving this way. The red should be moving this way. The green should be, yep, it's working. Look at that. All right. Do you like this? All right. If you're good to go, you can export it. And you should make sure this is 4444 and video only. You do not need audio with this. You're trying to make this as small of a file size as possible. And this is 1 minute at 1920 by 1080, 30 frames a second. So this is a big file. Yeah, so here's the specs for it. But this is what I want. And so hit next. And then I'll do, put that there. Okay, we are rendering. So rendering. Let this go. Okay, so here it is. Yay! This is the movie file. And what I'll do is I will quit Final Cut Pro. Come back over here and let's do live demo mode, and then we'll bring it into ECAMM, what we just did. So I choose that icon on the overlays panel, overlays, and find your asset. Oh, it's actually over here. That one. Hit open. There it is. Now I'll turn off that one. And then you have to go loop. And once you loop it, you have to hide it and then reshow it. Now the loop is going to be active. Now you should see this go the whole way through. And it should start over. Right here. It should pop to the beginning. Come on. Yep. There it goes. And that's how you do a border that's animated with transparency. The trick is to make it be a compound path, or that mask thing will never work properly, because I found that the mask travels with it, and that's not what you want. You need the mask to stay where it is. And so now you can use this for all kinds of things. What do you think? Was this awesome? Let me know if you have success with this. Show me you using this technique. I want to see what you've made based on this tutorial. And if you have any questions, let me know. And then you can download the cheat sheet for free with all the specs and all of the technical bits if you want a printed walkthrough of how to do what I've just shown you here. All right, hope this was helpful. Drop a big old like. Thanks, Internet.